Hello everybody, welcome to Kerbal Space Program. Today I'm going to show you a little space plane that I made that I think is pretty cool. Works really good. I hope you like it as well. Okay everybody, here we are. We've entered the spaceplane hangar. We have the little space plane that I've made. Yes, I did do it like the space shuttle. It is pretty capable, I would say. If we open it has a pretty large cargo bay with room for extra cargo as well. Got the little docking port here to dock with some cargo. It's got batteries, solar panels, reaction wheels, two larger batteries. It's got RCS all over the place. If we get our camera kinda in here, you can see somewhere there's a probe core in this right here, this probe core right here, this thing. I can't select it anymore, but this probe core is at an angle, so I have an action group set up that when you push the action group, it controls from that probe core, which sets the whole craft at an angle for re-entry, and it makes things a lot easier. I've tested this space plane with a 20-ton weight of ore tanks and stuff, and it managed to get it to orbit. Also, you could take this thing on a one-way trip to Duna, which I feel like is pretty cool. So I'm just gonna build a little probe real quick. Be right back. Okay everybody, I've finished building the probe. It's just a simple thing. We got probe core, some little engines for maneuvering, reaction wheel, antennas, and solar panels. Ooh, I should add batteries. So this space plane will have no problem taking it into orbit. So, for that reason, we're gonna take it to the moon. Close that. Okay, so I'll hop out onto the launch pad. I'll see you guys out there. Okay everybody, we've made it out to the launch pad. Turn on SAS and we are ready to go. Make sure all the controls are working. Okay, and away we go. Now this spacecraft actually is a little finicky, so you gotta go to this bottom Wolfhound engine and turn the thrust limiter down to like 60 or something, because between this engine and the engine on the external tank over here, the center of thrust is unbalanced for the center of mass, so it just sends the rocket into a spin. But yeah, so we're just gonna head to orbit and see you guys up there. Hello everybody, this is VoiceOver Oasis. Back from editing the video. I might have forgotten to say this in the video, but if I do sound a little bit sick, it's because I am, and that's all I have to say for now. Bye-bye. Okay everybody, we have officially made it into orbit. I'm going to plot our maneuver node for circularizing around Kerbin, then we're going to head to the Mun. Okay guys, so I've got the maneuver node done, and it actually looks like that we're going to need to burn for 3 minutes. So I'm going to start our burn now, going full throttle. And as you can see, the spacecraft is nosing down a little bit. The RCS is trying a little bit to keep us upright, so I'm gonna lower the thrust limiter on this until the RCS doesn't need to do as much work. And then we're just gonna burn full throttle until we circularize. Oh, I see, yes, it's because of the thrust limiter. Is there a way to up this? Okay everybody, as you can see, we've gotten in orbit, though it's not exactly the orbit I would have liked because we didn't start our burn soon enough and I didn't do a very good gravity turn. But now we're going to set the moon as our target, and then we're going to set up a transfer to the moon. Let's stretch this out. And look at that, we already have one. So we're going to try to get that as close as possible. Well, maybe not as close as possible. We'll keep it about 500 kilometers above the surface for our orbit because we want to use this as a communication satellite. And we're going to need to have better line of sight to Kerbin so we can communicate with Kerbin and things on the ground. Okay, so now that we've got that selected, we're going to press Action Group 2 to open up the payload bay and solar panels. So our solar panels are going to start coming out to get us the sunlight, and it's also going to expose our probe. Okay, so I'm just going to warp around to the maneuver node, and I'll see you guys when we get there. Something I did not realize, we just entered Kerbin's atmosphere. Now that is something I did not expect. Okay, I don't think I looked very hard when I was looking at the maneuvers, or apoapsis, periapsis. Yes, this actually dips into the atmosphere. I did not see that at all, so luckily we're not going very far in, so we can just warp past that. Our delta V losses will hopefully be minimal. Okay, again, see you guys at the maneuver node. Okay everybody, we've arrived at the maneuver node and something doesn't look quite right, so I'm gonna cancel this and make a new one a little further ahead, and we'll start this and see what happens. 524, good enough for me. Okay, we're gonna turn towards where we need to be for the maneuver, and we'll finish the burn and then head to the moon. Okay everybody, we finished our burn. Our final Mun periapsis is 601 kilometers above the surface of the Mun. Okay everybody, so we have entered the moon's sphere of influence, and it appears that we have actually caught the moon in a, let's see, what's the word? It's not a solar eclipse, but the other one, where the shadow of the planet blocks out the moon. I can't remember what that's called right now, but we have caught the moon while it is in one of those situations, which I find to be pretty cool. Don't think I've ever seen one of these before, but we're going to be dropping off our satellite in this kind of situation. So now that we have entered the maneuver node in, we're going to point towards it, and away we go once more. Now that is a view if I have ever seen one. The moon half in shadow and half in the sun. That's pretty insane looking. Okay, everybody, we've now completed our circularization around the moon. So, what we're going to do now is release our payload by right-clicking the docking port here and clicking undock, and it's detached our payload, which is now going to crash around in our spaceship until we push the key that I can't remember, I, to push ourselves away from the craft using the RCS. Then once that is out, we can switch to it, turn on SAS. It apparently does not have SAS. So we're just going to extend the antennas. Wonder why that is. So we apparently cannot use this satellite for SAS. So that's a little disappointing, I suppose. But we can rename it at least. I don't think it would have mattered anyways because it doesn't have a relay dish on it. Oh my gosh, don't do that. Well, now it's really useless. So, just gonna ignore that spinning off into the distance, and we are just going to plot our way home. Okay, everybody, I've plotted our maneuver node. We are going to be re-entering the atmosphere at probably pretty darn fast, but it'll have us re-entering, and then all we have to do is go and land. So we're just gonna work for the maneuver node and get out of here. Okay guys, now, if you remember what I said earlier in the video, before we re-enter, we need to press number 1 to activate our re-entry probe core. But before we do that, I'm actually going to close our cargo bay to protect all the stuff inside and decouple from the external tank. Okay, and then we're just going to get a little closer to the atmosphere before we really throw in the re-entry angle. Okay, we're now 100 kilometers above the surface of Kerbin, so we're going to press the 1 key just going to activate our re-entry probe core, which, as you can see, is going to have us at this angle to the surface. Oh. Wait, there's a fuel tank attached to this? That must have been a mistake I made during construction of the probe. That's a little awkward, but I suppose we'll just have to work with it. And then I'm just going to time warp down until we hit the atmosphere. Then we're going to start experiencing re-entry heating. Okay, everybody, now as we just glide down to the surface, I thought that over there was land and we were going to be landing over water, so I was really trying to slow down so I could show you guys what it's like to land this aircraft on land. But I was wrong, so thank goodness for that. We're almost out of electricity, but I think we can manage it. Oh, I need to control from the right. Not probe core, but ship. Okay, and you might have noticed that I've been burning my engine a little bit. That's just to give me the little bit of extra electric charge that I need to keep this spacecraft working, because yeah, we're really low on it currently. So that's what that is. Just been burning it a little bit to keep us boosting the electric charge. But this is some really bumpy terrain that we're going to land on. Isn't really the best to land on with this space plane, but you can do it. So we're 100 meters above the ground and we really want to slow down, so we're going to deploy the landing gear. As you can see, it's got a pretty wide stance, so you don't have to worry about it tipping over at all. Gonna get that one last little touch of electric charge that we need. Maybe a little more. We're gonna flare right before touchdown, just a couple of meters off the ground, to really get us going slow, so that we don't hit the ground too hard like we just did, because I'm not paying attention. Okay, so we're just gonna come nice and slow, and we're gonna slam on the brakes. Trying to select the landing gear so that we can max the brakes out, and there we go. We have just landed our space plane, and we still have 195 meters per second of delta V left at the surface. So, and everybody, that is how you fly and land my little space plane. Hope you liked the video. Like, subscribe. Hope you think the space plane is cool. And I'll see you guys in the next video.